4th of July and 4 times the prices. Rental car prices are skyrocketing just as many people are getting ready to travel for the summer. I'm Zach Wilcox, and we'll take a look at the advice that one rental car company owner has to keep you a little more reasonable for your vacation.
Plus, behind the curve, South Carolina is well behind President Biden's goal of getting 70% of Americans vaccinated by Independence Day. What one doctor tells me is the key to hitting that milestone.
And a 6-year-old death investigation reopened. The possible connection between this cold case and the murder investigation into a prominent Low Country family.
And I'll have your first alert to a not so summer-like weather pattern through tomorrow. Your news at 6 starts right now.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WNBF News at 6.
Good evening at 6 o'clock. I'm Meredith Headline. Thanks for being here. I know at 6. Vacationing in Myrtle Beach this summer may be a bit more expensive than most years. At least that's if visitors who fly here also want to be able to drive around while they're visiting. WNBF Zach Wilcox joining us live now from the Myrtle Beach International Airport. Zach, you've been looking into a rental car shortage. So what have you been able to find out?
Yeah, Meredith, right now finding a rental car is one hurdle and being able to pay for it is a whole nother obstacle. I talked to the owner of Whatchamacallem Rentals and he was telling me his best advice right now, go ahead and book that rental car the minute you book your flight really anywhere, especially coming to Myrtle Beach, because he says he's seen a lot of people who have gotten here and thought that they could get the rental car after they arrived and have either been overwhelmed by the prices or just simply haven't been able to find one. I did a quick search on Hertz.com just to get an idea for how much a rental car would be for 4th of July weekend. You can see even the smallest cars are running about $150 a day. So renting one from Friday to Monday would cost me about $600. Not to mention they're completely sold out of trucks and SUVs and minivans and luxury vehicles. A representative from Thrifty Rentals told me they typically charge about $30 a day, but with their fleet stretched as thin as it is right now, that's why we're seeing the prices all the way up at about 5 times that. I talked with a woman who's here for her baby moon, one last trip before her baby is born. She booked her car last night and was totally shocked at the prices.
When I initially looked, it was like $900 for 5 days. And so I was like, okay, we're just gonna have to Uber and walk around. And then I looked yesterday and they had dropped to $600. So I booked it yesterday, but you know, up until then we had no idea what we were gonna do for transportation.
Now, the owner of Whatchamacallem Rentals tells me this really stems from rental companies during the pandemic selling off as much as 3/4 of their fleet and not being able to find the new cars to replenish that fleet. So he's saying this is a national issue. So really, we're feeling it here in Myrtle Beach, but if you go anywhere, go ahead and think ahead and book that car when you're booking your flight. In Myrtle Beach, Zach Wilcox, WNBF News.
Updated data from DHEC shows 47.7% of South Carolina residents have at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. That's over 2 million people. Meanwhile, over 41% of people are fully vaccinated. And Independence Day was supposed to take on a new meaning this year after the Biden administration announced its goal to have 70% of Americans vaccinated by July 4th. And now they say the nation is falling short, especially South Carolina. WNBF News reporter Catherine Phillips is live in Myrtle Beach. So, Catherine, just how far behind is South Carolina when it comes to meeting this goal compared to the rest of the country?
Meredith, South Carolina is pretty far behind, but we're not alone. Only a handful of states have meet that 70% threshold. And while doctors say this is disappointing, they say the vaccines are still making a difference. With just 41% of South Carolinians fully vaccinated against COVID-19, the Palmetto State is nowhere near the White House's goal of celebrating 4th of July with fireworks, barbecues, and the hope of herd immunity.
Very disappointed, to be honest with you. I really, well, some people may have saw that as an aggressive goal. I sure wish, I wish we were over 70%, to be honest with you.
Dr. Paul Richardson from Conway Medical Center says while cases and deaths are dropping due to COVID vaccines, not enough people are getting vaccinated anymore. The hospital used to vaccinate 500 people each day, the most they could handle. Now, less people are walking in or scheduling appointments, causing them to only host the clinic twice a week. This past week, they only gave out around 150 shots. DHEC says it's a statewide issue. Over the past few weeks, they've hosted incentives like the Shot and a Chaser campaign at certain breweries in order to try to get more young people vaccinated. Officials say 137 people participated across the state. And while people are slowly getting vaccinated, they say there's no expected date for when South Carolina could cross the 70% threshold.
That fully depends on the people of South Carolina and their willingness to get vaccinated. To be frank, there's no shortage of vaccine supply, only a shortage of South Carolinians willing to step up and get vaccinated.
Again, only 41% of people in South Carolina are fully vaccinated. To put that in perspective, the CDC says that 65% of Americans have gotten at least one dose. To compare to other states, Vermont is seeing the highest rate right now with over 80% of eligible people vaccinated there. Live in Myrtle Beach tonight, Catherine Phillips, WNBF News.
Meanwhile, DHEC is reinforcing the need for the vaccine amid the increase of a new COVID-19 variant. They say the Delta variant can be dangerous for the 20 to 24 age group. Officials say it also carries a higher rate of transmission and a greater chance of severe diseases. 4 confirmed cases of the Delta variant have been discovered here in South Carolina. If you're looking to get vaccinated or get tested for COVID-19, DHEC is hosting a number of clinics this week. The exact location and times for those clinics are on your screen now. Tomorrow, officials will be at the Darlington Health Department, Dillon County Health Department, and Lake City Health Department. On Friday, health officials will be at the Conway Health Department, Myrtle Beach Health Department, and Myrtle Beach First Baptist Church. Tidelands Health is seeking state approval to build a new long-term acute care hospital within the Carolina Bays Hospital. The extended care hospital would offer 24 beds, extended respiratory therapy, complex wound therapy, and more. The healthcare system is set to submit a certificate of need application to DHEC next week. Right now, DHEC is reviewing the application sent in by Tidelands Health to build the Carolina Bays Hospital on highways 707 and 31. During an Horry County Council meeting last month, Socastee residents raised their concerns about that hospital. The main concern being flooding. But Tidelands officials say a system of retention ponds and piping will be used to control the release of water through the Highway 707 drainage system. Tonight on Nightly News with Lester Holt, the conversation about getting Americans vaccinated continues. Lester speaks with the director of the CDC on if we've hit a vaccination brick wall.
I do believe that there's a community like that, but I don't believe we've hit the brick wall. I had the great privilege of being at the Ebenezer Baptist Church last week with the vice president and talking to people who were vaccinated that day. And some of them said to me they didn't know anybody who had been vaccinated before. This is really the hard work that we need to do. We need to reach communities that have not had a lot of healthcare access, don't have the information that they need.
And you can hear Lester's full interview tonight on NBC Nightly News at 6:30. Jamie.
All right, checking in on that forecast here with weather about as good as it gets around here for the latter half of June. Sunshine right now, temperatures into the upper 70s, low humidity, a gusty breeze. That's one thing we're watching, though. There's a high rip current threat. Thankfully, it doesn't look like a lot of people are out there in the Atlantic, but heading through a beautiful forecast overnight tonight. It's rare to get June temperatures down below 70. We do it tonight, heading all the way down to 65 in Myrtle Beach, 64 in Socastee and Carolina Forest, 63 in Conway, 62 overnight tonight for Loris. Then as we head into Thursday afternoon, a day very much like today, temperatures climb their way into the low 80s, but humidity goes even a little bit lower for the day tomorrow. That gives us a rain-free and sunny Thursday forecast. That humidity, it comes roaring back in a big way, and with it the chances for showers and storms. I'll let you know when that happens coming up in my full forecast.
Right now, we're working to learn the name of the person killed who was hit and killed by a car in Florence County. Highway patrolmen say it happened on South Morris Street around 10:40 last night. Officials say that pedestrian was illegally walking in the roadway and the driver of that car was not hurt. New details tonight on a federal investigation into illegal massage parlors in North Carolina. That undercover investigation resulted in the arrests of 6 women, including 2 of them from Little River. Investigators have audio and video evidence that the women running the business in Wilmington knew sexual services were being provided. The entire time the business owners targeted knew they were dealing with a sworn federal agent, but still paid him thousands in cash bribes to keep law enforcement locally at bay. The complaint also had information related to how the owners find women to work in these spas. One group in Wilmington that helps trafficking victims says they're grateful to see investigations like this putting an end to that disturbing cycle.
They're being promised things. Some think they're actually going to a massage school and being trained to be a massage therapist. So they are uninformed. They think that they're headed to a better life with good money, and it's the United States, good opportunities. And then they get in the situation, they come through Flushing, New York, and then there's a network where they're spread out across the country.
The 6 women in custody are accused of running businesses, offering sexual services, and bribing a federal agent. Based on information found in the Murdaugh murder investigation, SLED is reopening a 6-year-old cold case. In 2015, 19-year-old Stephen Smith was found dead in what was believed to be a hit and run. However, Smith's family did not believe that. Our Adam Mincer has new details in both of these investigations and the possible link between the two of them.
SLED hasn't confirmed there is a connection, but something came up relating to this cold case while they were investigating the Murdaughs. This is what you need to know. On July 8th, 2015, 19-year-old Stephen Smith was found dead. At the time, the coroner said he died from blunt force trauma to the head. And the coroner added that was most likely from a mirror of a car passing by. In November, Stephen's mom, Sandy, said her son's death was, quote, not a hit and run. 6 years later, Paul and Maggie Murdaugh were found shot dead at a family home. On the 22nd of June, Smith's case was reopened. This is what Smith's mom said about the idea that her son was hit by a car.
He called his sister one night he ran out of gas, and he hid in the woods and would not come out until he was sure it was her. And so we know for a fact it was not a hit and run. Stephen would not have been in the highway.
Today, the Murdaugh family law firm posted on Facebook, quote, "We would like to thank local and legal communities for the outpouring of support we've received in the wake of the recent tragedies." In that same 2015 interview, Sandy Smith said she forgives whoever killed her son, but she just wants answers. Reporting from Columbia, I'm Adam Mincer.
Doorbell cameras. It's an item you probably have, maybe, and you use it every day. Well, now they're being used to help law enforcement officials. Tonight, WNBF News Today anchor Lauren Korn looks into how many crimes have been solved with the help of these devices. She also explains how you can use the home surveillance app without even owning a camera. We're keeping you safe tonight at 11. Downtown Florence's favorite award-winning block party is back, and not only is it good news for businesses, also for you. Cameron Crowe previews the return of Florence After 5 and the new additions coming with it. All right, here's your Skeeter meter for today. Make sure you put that bug spray on.